This is the story of a cruel king who used to throw even his ministers and soldiers to wild dogs just for making a small mistake. But one day, a loyal minister did something that changed the entire atmosphere of the royal court and gave the king the greatest lesson of his life. This story teaches us that love and service are never wasted, and the one who forgives others is the real king. So friends, let's listen to this surprising and meaningful story, The Cruel King and the Loyal Minister. Friends, this story belongs to a time when the king's word was the only law. With just one command, he could change people's lives completely. In those days, there lived a very cruel and proud king. He had no shortage of power, wealth, or glory, but there was no sign of mercy in his heart. Behind the royal palace, there was a prison where 10 dangerous, wild, and hungry dogs were kept. The king had specially trained these dogs so that whenever any minister, advisor, or soldier made even a small mistake, he would be thrown before these dogs, and within moments, they would tear that person apart. This punishment was given in front of the entire court so that no one would ever dare to speak against the king again. One day, the royal court was in session. All the ministers were presenting their ideas. At that time, one wise minister gave some advice for the betterment of the kingdom. But his advice hurt the king's pride. The king's face turned red with anger. His eyes filled with fire, and in a loud, furious voice he ordered, "Throw this disrespectful minister before my dogs immediately." The whole court became silent. Everyone knew what was going to happen to the minister. The minister fell at the king's feet and said, "Your Majesty, I have served you loyally for 10 years. Is this how you will reward my service? Please give me only 10 days' time. After that, you may punish me as you wish." The king laughed and said, "10 days? Very well. But remember, on the 11th day, you will face my dogs." The minister was sent to prison, but he didn't spend those 10 days crying or mourning. Instead, he did something that no one could have ever imagined. The minister said to the prison guard, "Let me stay with the dogs." At first, the guard was shocked, but with the king's permission, he allowed it. Then what happened was truly strange. During those 10 days, the minister started serving the dogs himself. He fed them, gave them water, bathed them, cleaned their wounds, and treated them with gentleness and love. The dogs, who were once bloodthirsty beasts, now wagged their tails and followed him happily. 10 days passed, and then came the day when the minister was to be thrown before the dogs. The whole court gathered. Everyone came to watch, thinking that the minister too would become food for the dogs. The king gave a signal, and the minister was thrown into the dog cage. The dogs roared and ran towards him. Everyone held their breath. But in the next moment, something astonishing happened. The dogs surrounded the minister, but instead of attacking him, they began licking his feet, rubbing against him lovingly, as if he were their friend. The court was stunned. The color drained from the king's face. He immediately called the minister and asked, "What magic is this? These same dogs used to tear every criminal apart, but they didn't harm you." The minister smiled and said, "Your Majesty, I served these dogs only for 10 days, and even they did not forget my loyalty. But you, I served you for 10 years, and for one small mistake, you forgot all my years of service." Hearing this, tears filled the king's eyes. He hugged the minister and announced, "From today, before giving anyone punishment, I will first look at his intentions, his past, and his service." So friends, This story teaches us that every human makes mistakes because making mistakes is part of human nature. The one who never makes a mistake is not a human but an angel. That is why we must learn to forgive others, because the one who forgives others actually makes his heart bigger and his soul peaceful. If even an animal can remember 10 days of kindness, then shouldn't a human remember years of service from another human being? To forgive others' mistakes is the greatest quality of humanity. That was today's story. Now tell me, what did you learn from this story? Write your answer in the comments. I'll be waiting to read your thoughts. And yes, don't forget to like, subscribe and share Tales by Manis. Thank you for being a part of this journey.